Hey, it's W5HRO. Well, I've just about got the Courier 23 fully modified. I got one last final thing to do. I'm going to put a big 100 mic cap underneath to beef up the high voltage supply a little bit. I'm going to do that next weekend. But I did go ahead and I did hook up the amplifier. It needs a lot of cleaning. I'm going to restore it. I need to go through. I got new tubes for it. I'm going to clean all this junk up, replace all the caps, check all the resistor values, etc., etc., etc. And it's working. See, I'm on 2900. That's 10 meters. And I'm getting just a little over 50 watts out of it now. Just a little over 50 watts. And these two tubes, what are these? These are 12. They're 12 JB6s. I may not get a full 100 watts out of this thing, but that's sort of why I was wanting to put that 6CW5 tube in here to get more carrier power out, to get more power out of the amp. I still may do that before it's over. But anyway, you can see this was a business band amp. See, it's got extra taps. See the little things there on the coil? You got one thing there. They did several turns and they stuck them out away from the form so you could solder the wire, I guess that yellow wire, in different spots. So the power may come up when I go up and down that coil to tune it more for 10 meters. I don't know what, my guess is somebody had this thing set up for the CB band. So if I go down to that next turn or two, the power may come up some more. But you can see what they did. They had the 3 taps on the coil, see? They've got it all the way to the end, which would be the full coil, which would be like probably for the CB band. So if I go down 1 tap, it'll probably, the power should come up a little bit more. But it's working pretty good. This amplifier, it's just basically on or off. You turn it off, the power goes off, it's on bypass. You turn the power switch on, you know, the relay starts engaging when you key it because it's got a keying tube in it, see? They did the old style way, they've got a keying tube. So anyway, oh no, on the audio circuit, underneath the 23 itself, this is what I came up with. I just changed that one resistor to 100K and I marked it out today, but that's what I did. I basically bypassed the clipper. I put a 5 meg input resistor on the grid of that tube in case I ever want to put an unamplified D104 on it. This thing's still going to need some drive though, I believe, but I'm going to try it without it. I'm going to bypass it and just see an amp inside the mic and see what happens. Then if I need it, I'll hook it back up. But I put that 20 mic's internal from that big can cap, but I put that 47 mic right there on against that resistor. I'll turn the transceiver over a minute and show you what I did and what the final thing I'm going to do to it. But basically, see, I let that 100K go on the ground, and you know, when it went through the other side of that first 0.0047, which is the same thing as 0.005. It went to the clipper, which had a 330K, you know, to ground on one side and the 330K to ground on the other side, going through those 2 diodes. And you basically had 2 330Ks in parallel when you were going all the way through it. So I just bumped it down to 100K to kind of load it down more, because right now, but that's actually, it's more stable this way because you got the 100K load on the plate on the tube itself, on the speech amp tube. And on the output of the cap, see, you've got a 100K to 100K load. That's better anyway, it's more stable. So it did clean it up quite a bit, and that's kind of the circuit. And I decided not to put the relay in this, but what I've noticed is too, whenever I tried to drastically change the circuit, I tried a few different things. I even tried removing that, you know, I jumped right over that 220K, and oh my God, I started getting all kinds of hum in the audio. Because see, that's the thing. This second stage of the 6CU7 is the receive audio driver tube and the speech amplifier driver tube after it. The circuit's connected together, so you can't really do, you know, a whole lot. It's tricky. You can only do so much modification of this without screwing it up. But it's working. Let me stop the video and I'll turn this stuff off, and I'm gonna flip the radio over and show you what I did to it and the final thing I'm gonna do. Okay, here's the bottom side. See, there's that 47 mic cap I put right there, that electrolytic right there on that 330 ohm resistor. See right there? And that 20 mic is that can cap, and it comes all the way from that red wire way over to here. What I'm gonna do is, I decided, you know, I'm gonna put, I looked at the way they got the Courier supply circuit, and to beef up the high voltage on this supply to where it comes all the way over here to where it goes up through the primary winding of this audio transformer, which goes up to the 6BQ5 RF final output tube. That's the one that I want to beef up, that side of it. So it's going to be connected right here on this side of this 100 ohm resistor. And I decided, it looked like what they did was they added that 350 mic, 40 mic, 350 volt in series with this 450 volt 30 mic. So you have less than 30 mics here because they're in series. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a big, actually I'm going to be on this side of it. I'm going to be on this, is that the side? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to be on this side of it. So basically it's a 450 volt cap. Yeah. So that's all they've got. I was thinking it was the other way. This is because they're using this voltage divider going over here. I see what they're doing over there. Never mind. I was thinking over here. That was over here. It's not. This is where I'm going to go. And I got these 80 mic caps. And I'll see what I did too. I told you they had that cathode resistor for this the 6EU7 driver tube, audio driver tube. Where am I? This one here. I'm sorry, not that one. It's the 6BQ5 audio output tube. They had this 220 ohm resistor and the 25 mic bypass cap way over here. They had a long green wire. The tube is here, and they had that thing way over here. So what I did was I took that terminal strip off. There was a pre-drilled hole from the factory right there. So I just moved it all down here and I shortened that green wire. So there's that cap. I took some acetone, I cleaned the resistor and everything all the contacts after I put it in there, and it took all the color coding off. But that's that 220 ohm resistor, and there's that 25 mic cap. So now it's close to the tube, because I was getting a little bit of audio hum. When I turned the volume control all the way down, I heard like a zzz through the speaker. And when I moved this over here and I added this cap here, it's completely eliminated now. So that really helped. But see, I replaced some of the other components. Like I said, those are half-watt carbons. I took acetone, I cleaned everything, so it took the color coding off. But I have two 10 megs in parallel to get that 5 meg on the input to that mic amp tube. And then this other one here is a 100K to ground. And then this one over here is 100K. Well, I'm sorry, that's a 220. I replaced that one. That was a little bit off. So everything else is still the same. But what I'm going to do is, I guess I could have gone ahead today and I could have put this in here. It's an 80 mic 500 volt cap, which is bigger than the 450 volt other cap that's under the 30 mic, which is I think the can cap was a 40 mic. So I'm going to actually add this capacitor. I don't know if I'll just hot glue this thing here. I might figure out a way. I could drill a couple holes in the side and cable tie it, but I'm not sure I want to do that. But I'm going to add this cap right here, or I'm going to put a 100 mic. I ordered a couple 100 mic 600 volts. I thought it might be a little bit more durable, but this is probably fine. This should beef up that supply to where, because what's happening is when you load the thing up all the way, the tube that's in there, I got the stock tube back in, the 6BQ5, and now it forwards modulates a little bit, but if you really drive it hard, you whistle into the mic, it backs up just slightly. The supply voltage is dropping when you modulate on the final modulator tube and the final RF amplifier tube. So that's why I need to beef up the supply, and putting like an 80 mic in here. I could put both of these 80. I got two of these. I could put both of them in here side by side, maybe. Although I don't think they'll fit. Unless I did, I could probably get them in there, but I think one of these is going to beef it up enough. I'm just going to make stiffen that supply up using a bigger electrolytic cap. So that should help a bunch. So that's all for now. That's the last thing I need to do to this transceiver, and I'm just going to go through and I'm going to line the receiver and the IF completely, and then I'm going to try the 6CW5 tube in there, try to get more power in the amp. It may not need it before it's over. Once I change all the components in this, clean it up, put the new tubes in and everything, and change that coil tap for 10 meters, because I'm sure if I go down one tap, that power is going to come up. I may only get 75 to 80 watts out of this thing. I don't know. It may not. Those two tubes may not be capable of doing 100. It says it's a 100 watt amp, but you know, the BL100, that's what it's supposed to mean, but it may not do that. Those tubes, they're not like a pair of 6146s. They're smaller, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. They're horizontal sweep tubes, and usually if you run the plate voltage up to like 800 volts, that's what's on these things, you usually get quite a bit of power out. So maybe it'll do 100 watts before it's over. I don't know. If I could get at least 90, if I could get like at least what a Johnson Viking puts out on, the old Johnson Viking 1 or 2 puts out on 10 meters, I'd be happy. They always did about 90 watts. If this thing would do 90 watts, I'd be happy. So that's all for now, and next weekend I'll probably, like I said, I'm going to do some more work, and I may do one more video. It may be a couple weekends before I get to this, completely get all this amp restored. I need to see what parts I have. I may have to order a couple small ones to finish it. So I may wait a couple weeks before I do another video, but we'll see. So that's all for now. This is W5HRO.